G'day guys, welcome to another 12 by 12 layout with crazy old me, and wait until you see how this one goes. Okay, my daughter's messaging me. Okay, alright, so I'm doing a 12 by 12 layout that has more twists and turns than a dog's hind leg. Honestly, I had so much going on. This layout and the layout after this one, there was just so much going on that it was really hard to stay focused and create. So this particular layout, I like it once it's done. But what I wanted to challenge myself with this was, sorry, I have Gizmo in here and he is licking his paws. Stop licking your paws, buddy. You're so cute. He just looks at me with his little brown nose and he's got like a little rubbed off bit on his nose. It's the cutest thing in the world. But he licks his paws and he chews on his leg like it's a chicken wing. And he always seems to do it every time I hit record for the voiceover. Anyway, okay, but I digress. Right, so what I wanted to actually do was I have never ever used aged mahogany. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to use two colours that I don't genuinely use very often. I love yellow. I love sunflowers, yellow, all that sort of thing. But I don't have a lot of photos that really go with that sort of look. So I decided this particular piece of paper it was a Stampin' Up. I bought a pack of, I can't even remember what it was called, but okay, so this is where you see my brain ticking over. So I've done the border and then I sort of went, where am I going with this? I decided that I was going to create a frame, which, not a problem. So I've cut those two sides. Now this is how easy it is to make one of these kind of frames, borders, frames, whatever you want to call it. So then I just ripped the center out of it. Just as straight up, simple as you like. I quite like the white core showing when I tear a sheet of paper. Okay, so that is why I always tear it towards me, because I always like the white to stay on the side. Well, every time you do it, you have to sort of, if you're tearing it towards yourself, the piece that's going away from you is going to have the white edge on it. And that's what I decided to do. Now, with the aged mahogany, I didn't want this to just be white in the background. I wanted to sort of create a bit of a colour. So, I'm going to absolutely flog this aged mahogany one way or another. So, this is what I decided to do. I thought if I put my pictures on here, and I knew I wanted to put them together because it's just my daughters being silly with a basket on their head. Now, I wanted something to kind of simulate the lines in the basket, but I didn't want to be so literal. So I thought, I went to my stencil stash, and this particular stencil, I've used it several times over obviously for wood, but I thought this time maybe I can just, it's more for the lines that I wanted it for. And yeah, it at the moment, trust the process. It comes together. It's a little bit left and right, but it starts to come together. Now, the aged mahogany, and this is fired brick. This is the distress oxide. Now, I have to explain. You can use distress oxides on top of distress ink, but you should never do it the other way around because you will contaminate your distress ink pad with oxides. So this is fired brick because I sort of felt like that, and I've felt like this right from day one. To be honest with you, I don't have aged mahogany in the oxides because I really didn't think that I would ever really use it. However, oh my goodness, has everybody seen the new Tim Holtz colour? It is to die for. I can't even think of the colour off the top of my head now. I did write it down too. It is absolutely stunning. It's a red that is it. I watched the Tim Holtz video, and the video that he put forward and did, like with him and Mario, and they do their little the showcasing of it. It showed I'm trying to just very quickly find the color. It's called, I ordered it yesterday with Crazy Craft Obsessions. I've put my pre-order in for it, but now for the life of me I can't remember the name of the color. Now it is a true red. It is going to go so well with all the Christmas everything. It's just the most, and it stays a true red. So when you wet it as an oxide, when it runs, it stays red. It doesn't sort of peter out to either a pink or go towards more the browns. It doesn't do that. It stays quite red. So I can't wait to get my hands on it to actually see what it's like myself. So I'm really, it's really bad. I absolutely love Christmas and Christmas bits and pieces all over the place, whether it's scrapbooking, whether it's I don't do cards. I don't make cards. I don't even hand out cards. But mini albums, that sort of thing. I absolutely love doing those. And I can tell you now, this red is just, it's right up my alley. It's when I'll tell you a little bit of a side story. You can totally see what I'm doing here. I cut my title out with my Cricut, and the only thing I do differently with my title is, see, I really like that background. I wet it a little bit to sort of, I think I got a bit heavy-handed with it. So that background actually looks okay. I'm totally okay with that. The only difference that, there it is, lumberjack plaid. I knew it was, I had it written down somewhere, but it's called lumberjack plaid, and it is, I don't use descriptive words like this, but you know when you have a look at, for example, there's Christmas trees, and then there's Christmas trees that are decorated within an inch of their life. Everything is pristine, perfect, shiny, all in the right places with the big bows and the ribbons, and you know what I'm talking about. Whether you're an Aussie or whether you're from overseas, us Aussies, we don't get cold Christmases. The best we can hope for a cold Christmas is if we have a storm and everything gets wet and it takes the heat out of the day. That's about as cold Christmas as we get. I would love to have a white Christmas, but given that I'm petrified to get on a plane, that's probably never going to ever happen. But yeah, so it's that lumberjack plaid is that really gorgeous crimson. It's a crimson red. It's that real, lumberjack red. Actually, I'm thinking about it, and Jeanette is, I reckon this colour, if you're watching this, Jeanette, you'll know who I'm talking to. I'll only ever use your first names on here, by the way. I'll never use last names. But your little red truck, this colour would go so well. It was actually shared over in the Facebook group, and it was this gorgeous table centerpiece, and Jeanette had put this little red truck in the center, and I love the little red trucks and the plaids and all that for Christmas. It feels really country and good for me. I just love it. So that's me with my waffle, but that's what this ink pad screams to me. So I can't wait to get my hands on it and see see what I can do with it. That'll be pretty cool. So, and I do have a lot of Christmas photos that I've taken over the years, and I just haven't scrapbooked them. So I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to get in and give it a go. Now, I apologize if you hear any cars going past. School has just finished, just about to finish. Actually, just has. It's 3:01. So school's about to finish, and there's going to be cars and whatnot cruising down the street. So what you can see me doing here, I'm using, this is a Kaiser Craft stencil, and it's, I don't know what it's called, and I've had it for ages, but I wanted to go over, you know how I always do ink blends or something like that on my letters? I want to do something different. Check that out. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's something different. Now, having this scripty sort of writing going across it, once I put it on the background, that's when I sort of went, oh, whoops, should have. I realised it once I put the A down that I should have coloured the background to make it pop. But my offset was good. I do end up fixing it, so stick with me. It does end up getting fixed up, so it's not too bad. Holy macaroni, I have to tell you, geez, it's hot today. It is currently here in extra sunny Queensland. It is currently 29 degrees, but it feels like 31. So, and that does my dad's head in. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but my dad, he's a big Yogi Bear. I absolutely love him to death. He's so funny. But he has a real issue with when it says the temperature is 20 degrees, but it feels like 25. He's like, well, if it feels like 25, then it would be 25. We have this conversation with him all the time, and it is so sweet. It's so funny. Cracks me up. And he gets so adamant about it. He gets so serious. Cracks me up. But again, I digress. So I go around with my gold, what is it? It's UNIBALL. I always get this wrong, and I have to read it off the pen every time. It is the UNIBALL Gel Impact. I know it's a gel pen, but I always forget. If you're looking for a good gold or silver pen, especially with Christmas coming up, these are, I buy mine from Officeworks because I only buy one at a time, because I found if I buy more than one, guaranteed by the time I go to the second one, I can't get it to work properly. That's what happened to my white one the other day. And I definitely agree. Somebody, who was it? Natasha Foote. She's a Kiwi, and which I use that term endearingly, not as a negative. She's just across the ditch, and she has got amazing ideas. She does cards though. She doesn't do scrapbooking. She just does cards. But that being said, if you're looking for inspiration, check out some of the card YouTubers. You know, some of the content creators doing cards, because quite often what they're doing in a 4x6 card, you can actually think about it a little bit, and you can make that into a 12x12 layout. That's sometimes where I get some wild and woolly ideas. It takes a lot more to do it on a 12x12, but that's okay. So what you saw me do there was I just went around with my little pipette, and I just put little drops of water. I needed to break up that really harsh aged mahogany border. It was just too harsh against the yellow, and the yellow did soften it, but it was just way too harsh. But with the gel pen going around the letters, it doesn't make them stand out as if they were black and white, but you can see the letter a lot more clearly, so it works a treat. And I'm just popping it up on some foam. Something that I am doing now, I will be making a lot more layouts with of course I'm going to add texture and all that sort of thing, but I'm going to show you different ways of creating texture without creating a layout that's an inch thick. Because something, I did put it out there the other day that maybe you're the same as what I am, and as much as you love the depth and texture, it's fine to have that on, maybe even if it's half your album, you've got that depth and texture, right? But not on every layout. But you want texture on every layout. So on this page, you can see that with the dots around the edge, that was just water, and all I did was removed some of the ink. That's all I did. So, and then by putting these leaves down, now these are the Uniquely Creative leaves dies, and these dies are beautiful. They cut beautifully, and I'll be honest, I really like them because they're open, and yeah, they're divine. Now, with the texture on the yellow paper, then by adding the texture onto the letters, none of this is raised up texture. This is just creating a visual effect with your eyes. And that's something that I had a couple of people ask me how they can do that. They don't buy a lot of texture pastes and all that sort of thing, and that's fine. A stencil is your best friend. If you don't have a stencil, tear paper, cut paper, draw a circle, cut it out, draw some lines and leave them joined together on some paper. You just have to be a little bit more gentle when you're putting the ink on the page or the paint on the page so you don't rip it, but it's perfectly doable. I want to try and show everybody different ways that you can do things without necessarily always having to buy the latest thing. Now, the other thing I want to draw your attention to while I'm adding these sprigs and little tiny bits and pieces at the end, I do want to draw your attention to the fact that this Sunday we have a YouTube hop celebrating 800 subscribers. I know we've hit 900, but you know what? We're still celebrating 800 because that's just is what it is. So I've got a heap of people that have so kindly said that they would help celebrate my 800 subscribers, and I will have a video pop up on Sunday morning, my time, so Australian Eastern Standard Time, and it will be up. And it will have in the description links to all the other videos for people that have been so kind and so wonderful that they are joining in the hop with me to celebrate my 800 subscribers. I absolutely am so excited. And on top of that, if you have not already joined our Facebook group, you're going to want to, because there is a competition going on. Sorry, I use the competition word every time. No, it's not a competition, it's a giveaway. 2-part giveaway in conjunction with Crazy Craft Obsessions, which is an online store here in Australia. They post to Australia and New Zealand, so unfortunately it is only for those subscribers. But we have a 2-part giveaway. One is for $50 store credit, and one, it's an e-card, and one for $25. So jump on over to Facebook, and all you have to do is 1, comment with the country that you live in, and 2, you simply have to like all the videos that I put up from the 6th through to the 13th for the whole week, and then you will be drawn at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I will post it on Facebook straight away, and you will know who you are, and I will contact you that way. So thank you so much for watching, and I know that sounded really clunky, but that is my very first time of trying to do a spiel like that, and everyone please let me know if I have forgotten to say something. So thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you, and I genuinely cannot wait to see what everyone else has created for my YouTube hop, which is bright and bold. So let's see what everybody does. Thank you so much for watching. There's your close-up. Don't forget to jump over to Facebook. That's where I'll have the close-up photos that you can zoom right in on and see exactly what I did. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat to you soon, guys. Thanks for that. Bye.